Welcome to episode 96 of Rebels Without a Pod, the show that dares ask the question, should giant scissors come back as a hip form of portion control? That was the whole thing we were waiting for. Not what I expected.
It was a little bit of a letdown.
A little bit of a letdown. Well, it was worse and somehow so much better at the same time. We'll get into it. Tonight, our Cannonized marathon crashes headfirst into the ultimate 1986 monument to macho absurdity, George P. Cosmatos' action thriller, a little bit tough, Cobra. This ain't your standard police ride-along. It's our boys Golan and Globus once again firing on all cylinders. Parentheses, I had AI write this, so no spoilers. Sylvester Stallone stars in Cobra as Marion Cobretti, a rogue cop who cleans up the streets while wearing aviators indoors, chewing on a matchstick, and cutting up his leftover pizza with scissors. He's on a one-man mission to protect a high-fashion runway model, sadly not her cadre of robots.
Mm-hmm.
This is so much. That would be it would have been an amazing movie in there if like they like the robots and they're just like in the rest of the thing in like some capacity. This is 80s. Like this is like the same year the fucking Short Circuit came out. High fashion runway model, sadly not a robots, from an underground cult of axe-wielding serial killers. Cobra is a neon-drenched fever dream of excess body counts, customized revolvers, and Sylvester's own 1950 Mercury Monterey. So, grab your leather jackets and leave your civil liberties at the door because disease is rampant, and the Rebels Without a Pod show is about to deliver the cure. Pretty good?
Hell yeah.
I changed like a quarter of that just because of like all the different AI fuck-ups as we were watching the movie. My name is John. Joining me tonight is my co-host Andy, who does our artwork and graphic design.
Good evening.
We also have producer Naveen on the ones and zeros. Buddy, how are we sounding?
Yeah, hello. We're doing good.
Pod Daddy Eric tonight. Pod Daddy Eric will not be joining tonight. I just got kind of a shocking text from him, you guys.
Uh-oh.
You ready? Here's what this says. You ready?
Yeah.
Text from Eric just like a couple hours ago. I'm verbatim going to read this. Paternity test just came back. Jabba the Hutt is definitely my dad. Do you know how hard that is? Do you know how hard that is when Jabba the Hutt is definitely your dad? I haven't heard anything from him since then. Let's follow up next record when he's back.
I'm pulling for him.
Yeah.
Well, all of our content is currently up on the Rebels Without a Pod YouTube and Spotify channels. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We're primarily an audio conversation show and trying to get established on Spotify, so we ask any YouTube listeners, if you have a Spotify account and it is at all convenient, we'd certainly appreciate a listen there. Programming notes. A lot of He-Man shit coming up. Double feature.
Hell yeah, dude.
Next week, we wrap up cycle with the Canada-produced Dolph Lundgren He-Man movie, Gary Goddard's 1987 Masters of the Universe. For any listeners that want to watch along, it's available on Tubi. We will follow that with the four of us giving a review of the new Masters of the Universe theatrical film, which releases, I think, just about 4 or 5 days from now, early June.
Yeah, it's this Friday, right?
I have a ticket for Thursday at 5:20.
All right.
Get in there early.
Yeah. Does it
Perfect.
come out earlier for you since you're on a time difference for us?
It's not time difference thing. Like us being like this close to LA, we just like all this shit just kind of ships
Yeah.
like a little bit quicker. I don't know. I'm very in the bag for my girl Allison Brie as Evil Lynn. Like that's I don't need much when it comes to her. Cobra, before we get into it, let's just kind of do a couple minutes. I'm curious for you guys, how do we feel generally about Sylvester Stallone? Obviously, kind of like the big, kind of beefy, kind of 80s action guys, along with your Schwarzeneggers and your Van Dammes and your Seagals, kind of what have you. He's a really interesting one. I kind of want to go around like the horn real quick, just to ask kind of what's your relationship with him as an actor? Are you big fans of his other movies? Andy, let's start with you. We had not actually discussed this ahead of time. I kind of feel like you're like, maybe you're like a kind of like a big Stallone guy.
Yeah, so Stallone was kind of always second to Schwarzenegger for me.
Sure.
But that being said, always liked Stallone movies. There's so many of them. I definitely haven't seen all of them. I had thought that I had seen this one, but in watching it again, I realized I definitely hadn't. So I think I just had this like.
Let's clarify. All three of us have definitely seen this movie before, just not
Air
this.
quotes.
You're right. Right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think I just had a recollection of always seeing the cover of this movie at
It's
the
an
video
extremely
store.
memorable VHS.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, like, shit, Rambo, Rocky. I mean, it's all, Demolition Man, like all that stuff is a staple of my young my I don't want to say childhood, but actually probably childhood as well. I actually remember, stupid quick story. I remember my cousin and I. He's probably, I don't know, 4 years older than I am or something like that. When I used to live in Rochester, New
A
York.
couple other times on the show, right?
Yes, same guy. We used to pretend when we would get up in the morning, like I would sleep over his house all the time, and we would pretend in the mornings when we woke up that he was always Schwarzenegger because he was the older one and he got to be the best one, and
Right.
I was Stallone, and we would pretend drive around in. So he always got the Ferrari, and I always got the Lamborghini.
Mm-hmm.
And we would sit on his couch with our feet up on the ottoman or the table or whatever, and we would make these car noises, us driving around corners, all this kind of stupid shit. But I was always Stallone because he was the second best. And
so that just intrinsically was like your ranking of the guys, like
yeah. Schwarzenegger was always the top dog. Once in a while, Chuck Norris would get brought into the proceedings, but it was mainly Stallone and Schwarzenegger. So yeah, a big soft spot for Sly for sure.
Yeah. And how about for like the newer things? Like I didn't realize this, but his like something like 2 of his 5 top grossing films of all time are like The Expendables, which I knew nothing about, spent no time with.
The Expendables are awesomely terrible movies.
Mm-hmm.
They are such fun watches because it's just everything. It's basically take all the stuff from the 80s action movies that you love, none of the stuff that you could have done without.
Right.
That's what every Expendables movie is.
Interesting.
Forget the romance, forget the the whatever. It's just blowing shit up.
It's all the shit that the boys were there for to begin with, and none of the filler, none of the things.
That's right. Lots of explosions and quippy one-liners.
Mm-hmm.
I think the other side of it with the Expendables as well is just finally these big action movie stars are
all these guys
together.
being in the same room at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's what made it big as well. Just like everybody's there, Schwarzenegger and Stallone. I believe that was the first time they were ever like in a movie together. If I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
And it was like it's like something. It's basically like the Alien versus Predator, Freddy versus Jason. Everybody was waiting for it forever, and then it finally.
Pacino and De Niro in the same scene in Heat.
Yeah.
Naveen, let's kind of go to you. Stallone, kind of like a fan of the movies growing up.
Yeah, definitely. The same ones, the Rambos, the Rockies. Definitely loved. Would like to say, I guess, see it again after watching this. A Cliffhanger was a huge one,
right?
And that was really neat because it was just different. It was an action movie, but done in the mountains, and it was just different in that regards. So it was kind of neat. So yeah, Demolition Man. I mean, I did watch The Expendables just because, they were just those fun movies of action and over the top blow up scenes and stupid one-liners all in there. That just made it fun, but yeah, it definitely wasn't a
movies literally for kids, for kids that people who were kids at the time that they were things at the time that these were like the biggest like kind of films in the world for boys or at least kind of people that were mentally boys. It was just kind of The Expendables just sounds like, you know, this like very, very deliberate, pure sort of fan service here, just kind of come back and it also kind of sounds to me kind of quietly sharp retro, like a little bit of meta. Let's just kind of, again, like a book, kind of like as Andy said, just kind of blend in just the stuff that everybody liked from back in the day.
Yeah, definitely. And I remember definitely Over the Top as well was a huge one, and that would be another one. Your perennial always on the cable watch, and when it come on, we'd watch it, be like, yeah, it's a great one. And
Over the Top was great.
Yeah, just about
what's the one where it might be Daylight, or it's the one where like a bunch of people are in the Lincoln Tunnel, and kind of both sides of the tunnel collapse, and the Stallone has to help everybody escape.
Yeah, that's Daylight.
That is Daylight. Okay.
Yep. And
that was
that was Napoleon's. I think one of Napoleon's picks for the 96 draft we did, or was it 90s draft?
No, 96 draft, correct.
96, yeah. So yeah. So yeah, I believe that was Napoleon's pick as well. So yeah, Daylight, trapped in the tunnel, and then it starts leaking, flooding, and explosions.
Right. There's an entire American Dad episode based on Daylight where it starts out they're all doing it. The whole premise is a bunch of these Daylight super fans in like 2019 decide to go like on a tour of all the spots where they shot Daylight, which basically it just involves them driving through the Lincoln Tunnel, and then the tunnel itself collapses, and then at one point Stallone shows up to try to rescue everybody out of the tunnel. That's the only context I have for the movie.
Huh.
That apparently the last line of the film is Stallone just goes, "Next time I'm taking the bridge."
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yep, yeah. That's a one-liner that Stallone would say. Yeah.
Stallone, kind of like a weird history. I've never seen a single Rambo movie, First Blood or anything else. Yeah. I've seen Creed 3, which did not have Stallone. When I was a kid, my mom, for whatever reason, brought home the original Rocky. I watched it. I was bored to tears. I wasn't interested in any of it, and I didn't watch any of the other Rocky movies after that. And I've not seen any of the Expendables. So there's a it's the huge part of his filmography are just kind of like.
Please tell me you saw Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. That seems like something your mom would like bring home and be like, "This is good for you."
Have you seen Demolition Man?
Love the shit out of Demolition Man.
Okay, great. Yeah, because that might be my favorite Stallone movie.
Really?
It's I mean, just Demolition Man is like it's just sweet as hell, like front to back. Love Cliffhanger. Back in the day, it was one of these like it's Naveen, to the things you were saying earlier about Cliffhanger. It just really, obviously, there's trick camera work, and like the stunts were sort of very kind of well crafted, but you feel the entire time like you're just watching these people hanging off the side of a mountain. It feels very, very real and kind of kinetic and visceral.
Yeah. I thought it was well done.
And the one liner I remember from that is Stallone and the girl. They got like the big bag of money, and they need something to kind of burn to keep themselves warm overnight. And they got like a bonfire, and he's just kind of tossing kind of like wads of cash on the bonfire. At one point, he goes, "Costs a fortune to heat this place."
I don't remember that scene.
Pretty good.
I do remember. I think it was maybe the MTV Movie Awards or something, and they just parodied it.
Right.
Did a parody of that famous scene, and I think it was a raccoon. Like, no, and he loses the raccoon or something.
Couple interesting things about Stallone. One of the only people ever to get a double nomination same year as for Best Actor and Best Screenplay.
For
there are actually, let me count them up. 2,
not
3,
for Cobra.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not for Cobra. Not for this one. Only 8 people total have had a double nomination the same year. Most of them are just nominations. A handful are they won one or the other, but not both. There is a single person out of the 8 that actually won both. You would not be able to guess any of these, so I'm going to run down the other ones real quick. For Stallone, obviously, Rocky nominated for Best Actor and for Best Screenplay the year it came out. The other people on this, again, mixed nominations and wins. Charlie Chaplin, Orson Welles, that's for Citizen Kane. Billy Bob Thornton for Sling Blade. Matt Damon for Good Will Hunting. Woody Allen for Annie Hall. Roberto Benigni for Life is Beautiful. And out of them, the only one to actually be nominated for and win both that year, weirdly for 2 different movies, but Emma Thompson won Best Actress for her lead role in Howard's End, and also won Best Adapted Screenplay, which she wrote for the adaptation of Sense and Sensibility. Came out the same year.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. So Stallone, covert smart guy. Maybe covert smart guy.
Yeah, I mean,
You could
he's
say,
had a hell of a career.
yeah.
I don't think you can have the longevity that he's had and the success that he's had, or I don't think anybody can have that kind of longevity and success without at least being somewhat savvy in what they do.
Right.
And multiple screenplays, obviously. So he's not only acting, but he's in that writing process.
Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, the man did also write the script for Cobra. Maybe we should get into that now.
Yeah.
So,
You get some hits and misses.
yeah.
His instincts on this particular script were not great.
No.
They were not great.
We'll get into it.
Yeah.
Cobra is a 1986 action film directed by George P. Cosmatos, written by and starring Sylvester Stallone. I want to throw our first synopsis in brief to Andy because this is the second live watch in a row he's had single-handedly the best one-liner when we're actually knocking our way through like the movie. But buddy, let's lead with you.
Synopsis in brief: Sylvester Stallone Try again. Synopsis in brief: Sylvester Stallone having a serious disagreement with a bobblehead.
You want to tell the audience your actual joke? It's so good.
So Cobretti is at this I don't know, highway pull off or something like that.
Those tchotchke, like kind of roadside kind of tchotchke shop.
And he's standing there holding I think it was a Philadelphia Phillies bobblehead. The head's going back and forth, and Cobretti is also shaking his head back and forth. And I think I said something like, "This guy keeps telling me no." Which to me is a complete throwaway line, but Johnny apparently thought that was very funny.
It brought tears to my eyes. It was so good. Naveen, synopsis in brief. You want to tag on?
I mean, the other synopsis guys here, you should be eating healthy, not so much sugar, and eat your meat. Some vegetables,
right.
some fruit, yeah.
Fish.
Have you tried fish and rice? It's good.
Fish and rice, yeah. I mean, after slicing up pizza with scissors, you should be eating healthy.
Have you tried half of a hospital salad after Brigitte Nielsen has been chowing down on it?
You're gonna finish that?
We're done, right?
I don't have a synopsis in brief. I just have the Troy McClure joke I've just been wanting to do since we agreed to cover this movie. But George P. Cosmatos just sounds like the most Troy McClure-ass character to me. So
it totally does.
Yeah, synopsis brief. I'm just going through this. As my character, George P. Cosmatos, said to Dolores Montenegro when calling all Quakers, "Have it your way, baby."
Well done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well done.
The film, little history. The film was a passion project for Stallone, arriving just months after the box office domination of both Rocky IV and Rambo: First Blood Part 2. Stallone plays matchstick chewing Lieutenant Marion Cobretti, Brigitte Nielsen as a targeted runway model, and Brian Thompson, later of Mortal Kombat Annihilation Shao Kahn fame. I looked that up during the watch as the terrifying night slasher. Produced by Cannonized, Globus, and Golan, the film was an attempt to deliver a high-octane blockbuster leaning heavily into 80s excess, immense body counts, and unapologetic vigilante justice. No written review, but a big thumbs down from Raj on his
What a snob.
on his TV show, who said, quote, "It ran downhill with endless chases that show you 50 ways to leave your motorcycle. A lot of noise, but it's boring. Very boring. The film has no sense of style, no point of view, and no purpose except to just show Stallone killing people." Despite a tepid critic reception, both then and now, Cobra at the moment holds a 21% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, easily like the lowest, I think, of like anything we've covered on the show, on this cycle at least. The movie was a box office success, grossing $160 million, over 6 times its original budget.
Wow.
It just goes to show you, man, you don't have to have a good script. You just have to have a lot of shooting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's boy. So this is actually like the first that we've picked. This is the first in the cycle that we watched that has been an audience pick. We put originally a survey up on Spotify, and only Naveen voted on it. He picked the Apple. We decided to qualify that, and I believe on the YouTube survey that we subsequently posted, because nobody was like voting on the Spotify survey, it was 3 votes for Cobra against a single vote for Break Into Electric Boogaloo. So let's go to it. It kind of puts us, I think, in a nice position because nobody can really sort of be blamed for these things.
We found a loophole.
Yeah, Andy, a loophole to let us stay friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andy, let's start with you. If I did not mention earlier, we just finished like a full kind of shared watch together of Cobra. We jumped right on the record, not even kind of sharing thoughts ahead of time. Andy, what did you think of Cobra?
It is like the quintessential 80s Stallone action movie. No explanation whatsoever about why this cult of axe-wielding murderers are hanging out in an abandoned YMCA somewhere in the valley, why they want to kill everybody, why they want to start a new world order. No real explanation of any of that.
Why they got this whole thing of just kind of standing in kind of like neon red, clanking axes together
in a drained pool somewhere.
Right.
No real motivation or explanation for why these guys are doing what they're doing. Nor why the police put up with the antics of Marion Cobretti. It seems to me like he basically is just a vigilante cop that goes out and kills a bunch of people and pisses everybody off while doing it, creates a lot of collateral damage.
Occasionally assaulting superior officers.
Indeed, yes. But for some reason, still on the police force and seems to be the go-to guy when shit gets real.
Specifically on a police task force called the Zombie Squad.
Yep.
More time.
Yep. But that being said, I mean, I'm a sucker for a stupid action movie, and this is absolutely that. So I would say it was a good time. I had fun with it.
Naveen, how about yourself? General impressions?
Couldn't agree more. It was just a fun little movie, more enjoyable to watch with people. It's definitely something I wouldn't be watching alone. That seems to be quite a big theme with our canon movies. They're definitely.
I have been crazy grateful for the majority of these. At least just I'm hanging out with my friends, and we can kind of fill in like the low points.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so it's definitely just one of those enjoyable movies. You're regular Stallone action, shoot 'em up. Very lackluster in the plot or characterization and character arcs and things, and of course the Stockholm syndromes all abound. So just fun to watch and get into that good old 80s action movie spirit.
Stockholm syndrome thing is interesting. Like it just in my mind, the next day, Brigitte Nielsen is going to be like, "You, why did I do over the pants stuff with you?" I named Marion.
Yeah.
No, I'm going back to my robots. Yeah, for me, this movie bored me to tears. I
It did have a lot of slow points in there.
yeah.
That was, just took too long to get to the next scene and things.
Right. It's a movie that's been done like 1,000 times before. It's a movie that for me in different moments kind of started like evoking other better movies that we could be watching right now, like instead of this one. The big showdown at the Sparks factory made me think of Terminator. All the crazy stuff with the Night Stalker and his weird little cult of kind of hyper violent acolytes that just made me think of RoboCop and Red Foreman and like and just his little weird band of kind of Detroit psychos. So like the big scary kind of showdown in the parking garage is like my comment was, man, one flight down from here they're filming the first sword fight in Highlander.
Yeah.
I think this movie had like a single funny line, which is at the beginning, a guy is threatening, has taken like a bunch of hostages in an LA supermarket. He's threatening to detonate like a homemade bomb, kill everybody, and he's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to blow this whole place up. And Stallone just goes, it's fine. I don't shop here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that joke. I was surprised how much I liked Brigitte Nielsen liking this thing. Let me kind of,
You know what? Me too.
Right.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, really, really charming, kind of soft, like very kind of like sympathetic, like interesting to watch, like the entire time.
Yep.
That she's on screen. It's funny because I just assumed that she was this kind of just this is an actress that's primarily known for playing 7.5 foot tall insane Eastern European women, but she was she was just really kind of classy and sort of radiant in this thing. Like I enjoyed like every single kind of thing that she was kind of doing when she was on screen.
Yeah, I thought she did a really good job, and
Mm.
I even in Rocky 4, I thought I thought she
Mhm.
did a great job because it's kind of like pretty opposite of this. She likes pretty stone cold, and
She's the girlfriend of Dolph Lundgren in Rocky 4. Is that correct?
girlfriend, but also maybe manager or something too, some kind of agent. I think
Right.
at the same time, but yeah, but she was cold because she's like kill him, knock him dead, punch him out, and
Right.
so is overall, I would say that from those couple movies, she has a range and did pretty well.
I mean, they did like a very unexpected range. I mean, she is so kind of just fun, hip, kind of classy 80s Southern California. It's I was like kind of really surprised, but just sort of like outside of that, this is we get romantic, I think, a little bit about kind of films from this era because we our focus or our memory tends to, I think, be about the memorable ones, the meaningful ones, like the things that kind of like stood like the test of time. But when you kind of look at the volume of stuff like this that was kind of being pumped out like every year in the 80s, a lot more of it was like this film than it was like a Terminator, a Highlander, or a RoboCop, or whatever else you can like think.
Yeah, this was definitely that formulaic 80s action film that you usually get.
I don't know that I personally have like a ton too much to say about this. Maybe you guys looked into this a bit more. I guess Stallone turned down Beverly Hills Cop to be in this movie.
That's not
what I got. But
yeah, that's not entirely true. So
not entirely true. Okay.
Yeah. So what happened was he was originally signed to play Axel Foley or whatever the character's name was at the time, the lead, the Eddie Murphy character.
Axel Foley.
But I guess yeah. But I guess he like he made like a bunch of script revisions, stripped out like pretty much all of the comedy, and turned it into like a hard R action flick.
Right.
And then the studio was like, yeah, no, this is gonna cost way too much money, and it also kind of sucks.
Right.
So Stallone left. Eddie Murphy got brought in, and then Stallone went off and took his like version of the script and made
like
this
the
movie.
bones, the structure of like what this was going to be,
And then made this movie. So basically, this movie is Stallone's version of Beverly Hills Cop, a much more successful, much better, much more
people
well
expect,
put together.
it was not successful for the year that came out. It's in the top 10 highest grossing American films of the decade.
And it is a Beverly Hills Cop is a fantastic movie. It is excellent. It's like one of the movies I think about when I think back on the 80s and, you know, action type movies. It's one of the ones that comes to mind.
One of the legitimate high points.
Yes. Yeah, it's an action movie with a capital A.
Yeah. And Bridget Nielsen was in Beverly Hills Cop 2, the second one.
What?
Not the first one, but she was in the second one. Yeah. She was the villain character in Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Isn't that the one where they're in like the theme park or something like that? Or is that 3?
Theme park? I don't remember the theme park. It could have been. It's been a while.
Anyway.
Yeah.
This movie has a very strong connection in its vigilante ethos to movies, particularly Dirty Harry. It's kind of like a big touch point there. Like a film weirdly that I've also kind of not seen up till and including Andrew Robinson and Rennie Santoni to like the major actors. Like in the original Dirty Harry. Dirty Harry itself was kind of based on the efforts of one San Francisco police detective to track down the actual Zodiac killer back in like the 1970s. You guys have like any thoughts or anything to say about sort of like there's a little bit of kind of Reagan era vigilante politics that kind of creep into this thing of just like, why do the judges keep letting these people out? Like, you know, why do cops have to be kind of held to like these bullshit rules? Any kind of thoughts like overall on like how this kind of thing is like depicted for this film?
I mean, that kind of thing was kind of a repeat trope in a lot of stuff a lot of movies back then. You know, it definitely made its way into this movie, pretty blatantly as well. I mean, I think at one point it straight up just says essentially exactly what you just said.
Turns to him when they're kind of driving through like kind of rural California. It's like, why do the judges keep letting these guys back out on the streets?
Yeah, you'll have to ask the judge or talk to the judge or whatever is what Stallone. Which all I could picture throughout the entire movie was him with his Judge Dredd helmet on.
No, sure.
You know, yelling, "I am the law," or what? I forget what his thing is, but
Roy Schneider just kind of cowarding in the background.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Judge, jury, executioner, or something like that.
Exactly. Right. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that was something that was in a bunch of movies back then.
Right.
I think it happens still a lot in some cases, just that vigilante cop to get it done and becomes the hero because he saved everyone by going rogue, but you know, it's not quite the law and the way to do things.
All right.
Yeah.
It's still kind of like a thing that's sort of touched on like kind of here and there. In fairness, any urban American crime statistic you look at from like the 70s and 80s are completely different from like anything that really we experience like in like our adult lives. So you know but that was just kind of the world and the perspective they had on these things. Stallone used his own 1950 Mercury Monterey. He wrote the script. He cast his wife in this. Him and Brigitte were like married at the time. Does anything about this movie kind of scream vanity project to you guys? Does anything sort of?
I think everything does.
Right.
There was, I guess, to jump into Vigo's toes for just a second. I thought this one was interesting. Wait, let me find it real quick. So at one point during filming, Stallone complained that they were falling behind schedule. Rick Waite, who was the cinematographer, responded by telling him that if Stallone would, quote, get his hands off Brigitte Nielsen's ass and stop showing off to his bodyguards, maybe they wouldn't have problems with time. And then I guess Stallone was apparently so shocked that someone had spoken to him that way that he actually toned down his ego for a few weeks. But yeah, I mean, like, for sure, this was a vanity project. This was Stallone being like, I'm at the peak of my success.
Right.
I'm going to
Literally, Rambo 2 and Rocky 4 had just come out.
Exactly. I'm going to make a movie where I'm a complete badass. I don't have to say much.
I'm
I don't
married
have
to a Norse Valkyrie.
That's right. That's right. I'm going to kill everybody.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to be pretty much untouched throughout the entire movie. Like it was his superhero turn, basically.
Naveen, something to add to that?
No, I mean, that was actually no, yeah. Along with that, what Andy was saying, Waite, the producer Rick Waite, also mentioned that Stallone did a lot more of the directing than Cosmatos, and Cosmatos was the producer,
Right?
And not such a great director.
I mean, it's a very fake sounding name to begin with. It's like, yeah.
Has Stallone ever directed a movie?
Has Stallone ever directed a movie?
I
feel like the answer should be yes. But
Yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I will check.
Yep, I'm on that as well.
Let me say this on the Vanity Project thing real quick. The final fight between Stallone and the Night Stalker, there is a obvious point where like Stallone's down on his back, Night Manager above, like the Night Stalker's above him. Just, like, he's trying to cut up like his face with a knife. It's a perfect moment for Brigitte Nielsen to kind of step in and smack the guy like in the back of the head with a brick, right? Mm-hmm. And instead, what happens is Brigitte cowers. She's completely out of the movie the entire fight, and Stallone gets out of that situation by just trying harder, eventually kind of pushing the Night Stalker over like that. That any writer or any creative who has kind of I think like any level of control of the decisions being made in film like that will sort of point out like this is an obvious character arc. This sort of kind of brings her full circle. It finally, it's a moment of her like fighting back and getting any kind of like getting some like autonomy. But these 80s vanity project, the fact that Stallone had just more or less kind of complete control over everything, and he was making a lot of these just dumb and very just kind of short-sighted and uncreative like decisions in that kind of way. I think that when you look at the background and just how much hold he had over everything, that issues that the film and the story have, I think kind of very quickly come into like a lot more focus.
As a follow-up to my question, and this list shocks me, I'll be honest.
Okay.
Yes, he has directed films, including 1978's Paradise Alley, Rocky 2, 3, and 4, Rambo from 2008, The Expendables, and inexplicably the Saturday Night Fever sequel, 1983's Staying Alive.
Staying Alive, yeah.
And that was the only one he didn't star in.
That's right. That is true.
He was in
behind the camera the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really doing some heavy directing.
He's like, yeah, dance, let's do it.
Yeah.
Fun little trivia about Stallone had when he was a baby, I guess had a gigantic head. And in the delivery room, the doctor, it was kind of like an emergency procedure. The doctor ended up having to use forceps, and Stallone as a newborn got nerve damage because of those forceps. So he has a very slight, hard to kind of pin down, but it may be more obvious as he gets older, but that there is it's like a slight kind of weirdness and offset to like his face, and there's certainly like a tiny bit of slurring to the way that he talks. That's literally from minute one of his life, and just having nerve damage from like from a botched emergency delivery.
You can't help but wonder with something like that, would he have been? How much did that contribute to his?
Because he's a little bit more interesting. If he had been, 100%.
If he had just been a regular dude with a regular Italian guy with a New York accent,
right?
Would he have been as interesting? I don't know. I mean, who knows?
Or would have been like he would have been like a background character in like fucking Toxic Avenger and like that. That would have been like his career high point.
Sure. Yeah. It's a butterfly effect kind of thing, I guess.
No, it's the Cindy Crawford mole.
That's right.
It's just like a little bit just a little bit of imperfection on something kind of make it like intrinsically more interesting.
Yep.
Yeah. Guys, any other trivia before we get to final scores?
Ooh, I wonder how we're gonna split up these final scores, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
No, just do it out of 25. I like the math is set up.
All right. That's cool. I did have something, and I think I lost it there for, yeah, I've lost it. So, nope.
So, let's see. The body count tally, 25 good guys got killed in this movie and 42 bad guys.
Jesus.
So that's
I don't feel like
something.
we watched 67 on-screen deaths in this film, but I guess
Apparently we did.
okay.
Also, the original cut of this movie ran about 2 hours.
Jesus.
And it came back from the MPAA with an X rating.
Mm-hmm.
Warner Brothers told Stallone to cut it to an R rating and to shorten it to under 90 minutes so theaters could squeeze in more daily screenings to compete with Top Gun.
That Top Gun specifically.
Top Gun specifically. So basically, they wanted to make sure that there would be more daily screenings of Cobra than there were of Top Gun. It failed.
Spoiler, spoiler. It definitely failed.
Did not work.
Hmm.
Did not work. I think that's all I got.
Yeah. Well, along with that, I guess a few years ago, 2017, Stallone put on Instagram a picture of him next to the car.
Oh.
He's like, all right, throwback or comeback. And I guess there's been outcries of either doing a sequel or at least releasing the full version without the cuts. So that hasn't been released yet, but I guess you can find some
What
of
if it's all sexual things though?
What if it makes it a good movie? What if Stallone was right?
Maybe. I somehow don't think so, but it could.
What if this is his personal Snyder cut?
That's right.
What if we got 2 hours and everyone watches again like, oh fuck, we did not have all the information that we needed.
Maybe all the good stuff was let on the cutting room floor. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get the final scores for this one. I'm going to give 2 points for the "I don't shop here" joke, and 5 points for Brigitte. But I didn't really find anything personally redeeming. So out of 25, this one was a 7 for me.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Naveen. I'm doing some ciphering.
All right. Yeah. I mean, it was good. It was fun in the moment. For me, it's definitely not a recommend. If you want to watch it, you can. It's a hit or miss kind of thing. Watch it with a group so you can make fun of it together.
Right.
But it's definitely not a classic. Definitely not a cult classic.
Mm-hmm.
So
they made a million of these things at the end.
Yeah, you can catch it on other things. There are better versions of this type of movie. So I'd probably give it. I was thinking 12, but after saying all that stuff as well, I'm going to probably go to a 10 on that one.
You're going to a 10. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, and I'm looking through my list of what I've ranked other movies, and I can't put it ahead of some of these that have pretty low rankings. So I got to say I'm going to have it at a 6.
Oh, wow.
6.
Yeah, I think I have to have it at a 6 just based on what I've ranked some other movies.
Yeah, interesting.
I will say,
your review being kind of more on the thinking it'd be more on the higher side with your review.
So I was just going to say, so I enjoyed it more, I think, than a 6 ranking would indicate.
Right.
If that makes, but I.
In the context of like you had fun in the moment, but like this is a film that will be out of all our heads the second we finish the record.
Yeah, I will likely never watch it again. But yeah, I got to say 6.
Yeah, it may have been fun, but for recommendation for audience, yeah, I would.
Right.
No.
With that,
no, there's way better movies that do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So a little math nerd kind of behind the scenes. We're for this new scoring system, we're scoring everything out of 25. If we have fewer or more people on the show, we don't change that. But what I like the way our spreadsheet is actually set up is rather than kind of add everything together or have it change like, oh, we're doing 1 out of 20 for like this movie or 1 out of 33 for like another. The actual math itself is done by kind of taking the averages, multiplying by 4. So for this particular case, I just did all the little algebra voodoo there. So that ranks the film on a 33 out of 100. And 1 second here, let me pull up what we've actually ranked on the show so far, which has been like the first 20 movies we watched, plus Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. And this puts Cobra, or at least what we've scored, as the second worst movie that we've watched. In between Almost Famous, which had 42, and this other thing with 12 points. I don't remember if we've actually covered or not. I'm kind of drawing a blank. So
It's
Wow.
interesting. I've been meaning to mention it, and I keep forgetting to, but I know both of you have talked about it at one point. I think you talked about it in the survey episode that you guys did. And it's how going to the movies was just such an exciting thing, and watching the movies, whereas, you know, this movie that apparently you do not want to name and forget, you know, was one of those kind of things.
Okay.
And, you know, it was just going to the movies, and I remember loving it, but obviously I ranked it very low. Watching it again, it was like,
it was 1990. It was Dana Carvey. Church Lady was the biggest fucking thing. Like,
yeah. And
Wayne's World was before or after, or just kind of.
I think it was, I'm pretty sure it was after. Yeah, it was
Okay.
definitely afterwards.
Yeah.
So it was just
Yeah,
one of
you
those
were
things.
you were 10 years old with a bucket
Yeah.
of popcorn and maybe a buddy next to you, or you know, and
Right.
what can be bad in that situation? Like that is the perfect memory for me of when I was growing up, was just doing that stuff with my buds.
Sure.
Right. And even with my, you know, we did a lot of movies with my brothers. You know, I had my two brothers, and we ended up going just ourselves together, or
Yep.
even with our parents and things. So it was just one of those things. It was just always a huge treat going to the movies as a kid. So it definitely paints a different-
2025, my favorite theater going experience was going to Weapons. Second time, having Naveen sitting right next to me, and just at certain points that we do not need to explicitly get into on recorded medium, but him cackling like a fucking demon. when certain things happen to like certain people, you know, and this is the virtue of watching movies together for cycles like this, and this is also, I think, like the virtue of just having a podcast for this sort of thing. We very often, because there is so much surplus for what we can watch, but at the same time, just our lives keep us so isolated in so many ways that you know, this is anything that you can kind of do to kind of get back to that, getting out of the house and having a communal experience around a piece of even extremely mediocre art like Cobra is worth the time and consideration. So
Yep.
Yeah. All that being said, our next and final canon film, 1987, Masters of the Universe, is the first time I remember being in a movie theater and feeling disappointed. But we will cover all of that on the next episode. So, Rebels Without a Pod, episode
96.
96.
This movie was so forgetful, you forgot our episode number.
Well,
The movie. Yeah.
Look, disease is rampant. Rebels Without a Pod. I don't think we cured anything, but we had a pretty good time. Gentlemen.
Yeah.
I do have to shout out, though. I did
Sure.
say it when we were watching it, and I didn't mention it now, but I do have to say that opening scene with the bullet, I thought was really neat, especially for 86. The effects of just the shooting and then the bullet coming through. I thought it was really cool.
That opening scene had, maybe, this is very narcissistic, but like the joke I like most that I personally came up with, because like Stallone's narration is like, in Los Angeles, 1,024 murders every year, 517 rapes every year, 2014 incidents of aggravated assault, and my joke was, what did I say? Man, the first draft of Rent was dark. Let's wrap it up there.
That's a deep pull. That's a deep pull.
All right. Well, I do enjoy a deep pull.
Oh yes.
Especially on a weekend. Gentlemen, pleasure as always.
Yeah, definitely.
Double
All right.
He-Man feature coming up soon. Very excited about that. Talk to everybody in a bit.
Yeah.
All right.
Take it easy.
See ya.